Hello, and welcome to the Libri Labra book club. Today we're going to be talking about 3 different short stories that were all Christmas related. We will kind of go into initial thoughts, and then we will head into spoiler territory. If you guys are wondering about joining us on camera during the chats, you can find out more information about that by visiting patreon.com/Libri Labra and checking out some of the perks that we have available, one of which is being a book club VIP member, which allows you to join which allows you to join the chat and also be part of our exclusive Facebook chat where we talk about books and other media. And you get a bookmark and you get to select or be in a rotation where we kind of select books and allow the community to vote. So this month, the books were picked by Tom. Tom, do you want to talk about why you selected them?
Well, you know the reason I selected the one of the ones is Bloody Christmas by Caihm McDonnell.
Yes.
And I had read a few of his books before in that series, and I happened to look on Amazon. Holy crap, he has a charity book for Christmas. So that's how one of them got picked, as you know, which bumped off A Christmas Carol, because I figured everybody has read that or at least seen it by this point. The Deal of a Lifetime by Fredrik Backman. Again, a few years ago, I was like, I didn't know he wrote this. And, I read it and I thought it was really good. So I thought I would share that one. And the last, A Child's Christmas in Wales, was a long-time favorite of one of my friends. And she finally bought me the audiobook with Dylan Thomas reading it. And I got to listen to that. So that's how we ended up with these 3.
Okay, sweet. Give me 1 second to make sure I have our YouTube open, just in case anyone pops in and wants to share their thoughts.
Oh, and there will be spoilers in this, so apologies ahead of time. Maybe not even for the books we're talking about.
I have some.
That's a good spoiler warning to throw in there.
Some interesting things that I've noticed.
The reason I said that is because, particularly Bloody Christmas, it takes place right after the events of his first book, The Man with One of Those Faces. So it kind of helps if you've read that book, because you know what he's talking about. But if you haven't, it's not really that necessary to the story other than the actual start of the book. So
it actually helped me realize how much better. I mean, I knew, but trying to listen to that on audio and then reading Bloody Christmas, I was like, wow. I was just enjoying Bloody Christmas so much more. I think I had a little bit of trouble with the accents because they're very strong in the audiobook.
Okay.
And then just the audio itself. So I think I'm going to wait till the beginning of the year and I'm going to purchase the ebook copy of The Man with One of Those Faces so that I can read it alongside. Because I listened to about half of it and I just didn't feel like I was picking up as much of it as I should have been. But for the short stories, you mentioned why you picked them up. What were some of your thoughts, some of your initial thoughts on the short stories?
Well, I mean, going in, I was like, Christmas stories, Christmas care. I've never been one to pick up like holiday themed or related media. It's just it's never. But these stories did surprise me. There was something in it that wasn't just about Christmas, but I enjoyed each of them in their own way. So
I had never read A Child's Christmas in Wales, and I had it delivered to me by the library, so it was illustrated, and I ended up with 2 copies, actually. Yeah,
she got 2 different books.
All right.
I don't know if I did that on purpose or by accident, but 2 of them came, and so I was reading that, and I was like, okay, it's just a kid's Christmas story kind of thing, and so I was originally going to give it 3 stars, but then I was reading reviews of it on Goodreads, and someone happened to link to Dylan Thomas reading it. And and so I started listening to it and I was like, whoa, now it's it felt a lot different. So that actually bumped up my rating. And then I told John, I was like, you have to listen to it.
Yep.
So I was surprised by the Fredrik Backman one, A Deal of a Lifetime. I don't think that went how I was expecting at all, but
yeah, for real.
But now that I have 3 Fredrik Backman books, I'm glad that I got that little taste of his writing, and I really liked it. And honestly, I really liked his I guess his introduction to the story. Yeah, that was pretty cool too, and it was nice to know that like it took place in a real place and like his hometown and stuff like that. And I think Bloody Christmas surprised me as well. I don't know if I was expecting to like it as much as I did.
Well, like you said about A Deal of a Lifetime, if you read Bloody Christmas and you like Bloody Christmas, chances are you're going to like his other novels because they're exactly like that.
Yeah. So after I finished it, like he has stuff where he's talking about the charity that it was for and like some of the other books. And I was like, I'm going to have to check them all out now.
Yeah.
So I appreciate being introduced to.
You had asked me about what I thought about the humor aspect, like the humor involved in the actual story. And I think I appreciate it a little more because there's a little, like I feel like comedy brings a little love, you know? or no, maybe that's the wrong word, appreciation. So there's certain situations that you can and can't look at and laugh at, but there are certain things you can say and do around those situations to find the funny in those things. And that's kind of like what I've been doing with improv. So seeing it in writing is very interesting.
The Man with One of Those Faces wasn't necessarily a book that we were reading as the book club,
right?
But I don't know if it was just my perception of it, but it seemed to me that the humor seemed a little heavier-handed in that one. Like it might just be me. But
well, that is her first novel too, so there is that to consider.
Well, that, and I think there's more information to parse from the bigger story.
Because sometimes, and like I've mentioned this with like Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's work, sometimes it feels like there's just a lot of little stories trying to make a big story. Like they kind of go off on these tangents.
So you don't like so what do you mean by heavy-handed then? Like, what does that term mean to you? Because I don't think that means what you think it means. Are you saying that? Are you saying that the humor is yes? Are you saying that the humor is forced?
A little bit, yeah.
That's what you mean. Heavy-handed means they're just a little too much at times. Which I guess that can make sense.
That kind of still feels like the same.
It's not the same thing.
Like I feel like there's the underlying story, and then sometimes it feels like he takes humor and goes and punches right through the story with the humor. Like it didn't need to be there, and sometimes it doesn't even add anything to the story. It's just there as a joke. Like it's just.
I think I know what you mean.
Like
Christoph naming the bar after.
I mean, Christoph's footnotes are definitely something that I would compare that to. Like those things are the same. I think I just got such a feel for who Christoph is that I appreciate it a little bit more.
You can't let somebody else
do it. I make an exception. Whatever. I'm biased,
no, I think I see what you're saying because, and a lot of what, not a lot of it, but there's a significant portion of Good Omens that sounds like, oh, this bit's funny, put it in. And then the editor's just let it have it in. So
she's right. Sometimes it is unnecessary, but funny people got to throw things in there like that.
And so the point I was just trying to make is that, in The Man with One of Those Faces, I was kind of eye-rolling at it, whereas in Bloody Christmas,
it seemed more natural.
There was a lighter internal chuckle that while I was reading it. Like I just appreciated it a little bit more because it didn't feel as...
we could just distinguish the fact that it was written into the character versus just the author trying to show off.
I mean, again, Tom did say that it was his first.
I believe it's his first novel.
So,
and I know we're kind of talking not about Bloody Christmas per se, but when you read The Man with One of Those Faces, it's pretty clear who the main character is, even though it's not. How should I put this? There's one standout character in the book, and that's Bunny McGarry, and that's who he has. He has his own series actually now as well. with his books. So it's just interesting to see him. Like when you read Bloody Christmas, so it's like, okay, he's going to put the hurling team in. Yeah, he has the hurling team in there, and those are some of the great scenes. Like when the boys were telling the girls about what had happened at the gangster's place. That really, really good, really, really well written. So, but it's kind of tangentially Christmas related, but it's still a good story, I think. And
it happens during Christmas.
Yeah.
On the whole elf bit, and there's
what?
Okay, I said the whole elf bit, but like, if I didn't already say this, we're definitely in spoiler territory. So I don't know if you want to be like organized with how we talk about each story. I'm
willing to let the conversation go where it goes because they do with 3 roughly different ideas in the sense that I think Child's Christmas in Wales is obviously the Ghost of Christmas Past in the sense that this is what Dylan Thomas experienced as a kid. Mm-hmm. And then we have The Deal of a Lifetime, which is kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, but if he actually did disappear. And then we have Bloody Christmas, which is, I don't know, almost like Die Hard. If you consider Die Hard a Christmas movie,
no, that's the perfect way to tie those together. So it wins. It's good.
I know there was like mention of murder and Bloody Christmas, but I'm glad it wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be. I don't know. I guess with a name like that, I didn't realize it was just like Merry Bloody Christmas, like for effect versus like literal Bloody Christmas.
The slang bloody is supposed to be
right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and there was parts where we were reading it where the slang. John was just like, "Wait, what does Fanny mean? Is that what Fanny means?" So Fanny is different.
There's a whole new meaning to fanny pack.
But yeah, that's kind of the way he operates. Does Mr. McGarry, And again, if you read his other books, there are certain things which, when the boys are talking about, he let me in his car, say, he wouldn't let you in his car, and they make a big thing about that. And
everybody knows that.
Yes, every day does. If you've read the other books, it's like, So it is very much in keeping with the rest of the series. So.
He was, which is like super weird, but we just finished watching The Witcher. Have you watched it, Tom?
I am 3/4 of the way through it.
Okay. There was a quote in Bloody Christmas that as soon as I came across it, I had to send it to John because they had like touched upon it in The Witcher. And I was like, well, that's weird that this would come up like twice in 1 week. But so they're just talking about men wanting to hold on to tradition. And that tradition is just the word that we use when we don't have another rational explanation for why we do things.
Right.
And that men just don't want things to change. And I thought it was interesting that was touched upon in Bloody Christmas.
Yeah, Caihm McDonnell, I think, goes a little bit further, and he says that because the world's built for men, they don't want to change it in any way. So,
but like there was, I felt like, maybe just because I had, experienced The Witcher and then read this, that there was some similarities to me between Geralt and Bunny.
Okay.
Geralt.
Bernard.
Because they're both ornery. I don't know what's going on.
No, I think people expect them, people see them in a certain way. And, people think that Bunny is kind of off the wall, but yet he still kind of has this strong moral compass, it seemed like. And so I don't know, I just thought it was interesting to experience those things back to back.
Well, he's the one that people go to when things go wrong, obviously. So
he's like kind of could mess things up, but then things work out for him.
Strangely enough, they all work out.
I thought the conversation in the psychiatrist's office was a very interesting way to start things off.
Yo, that actually made me think quite a bit about
fannies.
No.
Wallpaper.
Maybe for half a second, but no. The idea that the law and psychiatry could go hand in hand in such a way that's actually kind of scary too, when you think about like where things can be in like whether or not it is or is not corrupt as a whole. That's scary.
What is making you say that?
Well, their whole conversation of like he was like he had expressed concern about, if you go one way, it could be seen like this. If you go another way, they push me off the force, blah blah blah. Or
and then he wouldn't be able to testify.
Or my testimony won't go any further than he's a nut job. You can't believe him.
Right.
And I'm
He's
like,
an unreliable witness.
Wow.
Yep. Well, that's part of the game you play, I guess.
That's a big game, and I don't want to play it.
Well,
Do not. I'm trying to think in the Bloody Christmas story. I mean, I like for something that was a short story, it was pretty. I thought there was some pretty deep plot happening there. Like it wasn't
short, simple, to the point,
but I felt like it was
complex.
Really well written.
But complex enough.
Enough, yeah. So, and it gives you a flavor of the character throughout the novel. So, pretty much.
Very interesting flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's clear that
here's a taste. Whoa.
Well, like I said, when you read the first novel, it's clear who the standout character is, and that's why it's clear he rolls with it. So. Anything else on Bloody Christmas before we move on, or?
I don't think so. I thought the whole thing with I think it was Brian that he had run into, and he had said something like, "Oh, tell your wife."
Oh yeah,
I was joking.
That Benny was sitting with him.
But I thought it was hilarious that he eventually ended up telling her that, and she was just dying laughing, and he was like, "How could you laugh at a man that's devastated in this way?" And she was like, "You're the idiot trying to get me to believe this cockamamie story while you went off to the pub and had some drinks." Like,
and of course, Bunny said, "And you told her."
So she was not having it. She was just like, "Yeah, okay."
Yes.
And she was like, "A woman just knows." So I don't know. I thought that whole thing was pretty funny.
Yeah, and of course when he's trying to teach them jingle bells with the imaginary saxophone solo.
Yeah, that was funny too.
I actually found that quite funny that he mentioned the saxophone as well after. He's like, "Hey, this is for a charity, and they already have your money, so you might as well go."
Yep, pretty much.
And we
have your money now. We don't care.
That. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. I really appreciate that. It was like something he wrote for raising money for a charity, and he was kind of like, I don't know what the hell's going on with us today that we're having such an issue with this. He said, about returning to Dublin or something like that. But I'm happy that I contributed and helped with the charity. So, but I appreciate that. It's kind of an introduction, and I will definitely check out the rest of his work. So,
I think I've read the first two in the Dublin trilogy, and then the prequel to the Dublin trilogy. So,
1, 2, and 3.
Well, 1, 2, and maybe 0.5. Because, well, not to give anything away, but there's something he talks about in Bloody Christmas about having a woman that takes place in the prequel. So, and then I guess the way he wrote them was 1, 2, the prequel, and
prequel, right?
Yeah.
And there was a little footnote underneath that when he listed out these are the other books if you want to check out stories about this guy, but this one's a little weird.
Yeah. So,
do we want to do ratings for it?
No, you just write down the line. That's fine.
All right. Well, what would you rate it?
For Bloody Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Bloody Christmas, yeah.
I'd say 4. 4 is Force fair.
That's what I would say too.
Yep, same.
I enjoyed it enough. It wasn't.
No, but then again, it's like not a full-on novel, so it's like.
Yeah.
I didn't have the space to be that.
Yeah, exactly. So a deal of a lifetime then.
A deal of a lifetime. I feel like I needed that. I tried re-listening to it a second time because there was a part that I wasn't sure about.
Mm-hmm.
He meets the little girl in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Does he get into a car accident with the little girl?
No.
Okay.
I told you that already.
Okay, so what was it? It was just like
he just decided to drive out.
The book ends the way it begins.
He was killing himself.
Right.
To let the lady take him instead of the girl.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Are you serious?
I didn't.
What story did you read?
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
It's the deal of a lifetime, and she was like, "I can't take a death for a death. It has to be a life for a life.
Yeah,
so if she's going to live, you have to not exist."
Right.
And he had to deal with that whole idea, considering he spent his whole life building a legacy.
I mean, I understand why that was a difficult choice for him. And he was writing the letter to his son, the letter that his son would never see.
I really didn't mean to completely like just give the whole story in one sentence.
But it's a short story though, so
not that short, but yeah.
Well.
It was, I don't know, I had like mixed feelings about it. Like I liked it and I liked the writing. And there were some things I felt that he said that were like very profound.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to the audio, so it's not like I could highlight it or refer back to it. But what was it about? There was something that he said that I was like, wow. Crap.
That's why you need a Kindle.
Yes.
But like when I say I had mixed feelings is that I felt like the guy was a douche. Like
yeah, but he knows he's a douche.
Yeah.
And like it was just hard to feel sympathy for him. Like I understand that his legacy was important. I understand how much that meant to him. But it was like I guess I feel like I should have felt more empathy for him. But he was such a douche that I was like,
well, you're given the idea of this guy who's spent like 90% of his life working, even though he had a family, and he did feel sort of bad about not spending the time with his family, but he knew they had all the things they could ever need. But you're given this character that needed growth. So that little girl was his growth.
I guess I just wish I had cared about him more. Like I probably cared about the girl more than
child.
Because like even as he was writing the letter to his son, he was still like I don't feel like he was sorry enough. Like he should have been more
He was sorry, but nowhere near enough.
No.
Like he's still whatever. I wanted him to care about everything that he lost with his son, not for the purpose of his legacy, and then now because he'll never ever ever get to have that with his son. But he still like cared about his legacy more. So is that really growing? Like I mean, I don't know.
He doesn't have his son is his legacy, and now he's given his family a completely different life without a guy who treated them the way he did.
Right. Because one of the quotes from the book, where was it here? I tried to make you tough. You ended up kind. Oop. So.
It was definitely a good Fredrik Backman introduction. I was like, as soon as we started listening to it, I was like, oh, I'm going to really enjoy those other books.
Which one did you started with? The Deal of a Lifetime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we read that one first.
Yep. Okay.
And then I didn't realize it, but I guess you were saying that like my grandmother told me to tell you I'm sorry, and Britt Marie are somehow related.
They're connected, yes.
Okay.
Yes, Britt Marie. I'll just say that Britt Marie is a character in My Grandmother.
Okay.
And I believe the events in My Grandmother take place before those in Britt Marie. So.
Okay. I guess I'll read that one first.
But how do those correlate to this one?
Nothing other than I just am eager to read them now.
Oh, because of the writer.
They're very well written. Yeah,
All right.
they are. Well, the one I haven't read Britt Marie yet, but I want to. But
The
like
way
I
that
said,
just
my
came out, I
grandmother
was
is.
like, wait. The way she said that, I was like, wait a minute, those are tied to a Deal of a Lifetime somehow. But if it's the author, that's
That's just the author. Yeah.
Actually, being a part of the same story.
No,
Sorry, I
yeah.
didn't mean to cut you off. I was very confused.
But I understand Desirai's point in the sense that we want the main character to be unlikable in the sense that yes, we can understand why he, why making this deal is such a big deal for him, but not so unlikable. Like Desirai has that reaction, it's like, well, who cares?
Right.
Obviously the good thing that he's doing is sacrificing his life so that the little girl can live.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted there to be more. It just feels like such a singular thing.
I mean, it's a short story. You didn't have much more detail to get into.
I mean, he had enough detail to tell me about all the shitty things he's done.
Writing, you mean while he was writing his letter to his son?
Yeah. Like he was pretty much like, I was a shit dad. Hey, you're never going to see this.
Information has to be packaged in specific ways.
Yeah.
And how that packaging is presented is important too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I'm saying, like, when we're talking about villains and stories.
Also know that after what he did, that letter to his son doesn't exist.
I understand. So then he's just talking to himself.
That's not what that means.
But I was saying, as far as villains in stories go, I think the ones that, are the most successful and carry the most emotional weight are the ones that you can both hate and feel bad for at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was too easy to hate him, and I didn't feel feel bad for him.
Okay.
That's what I've been trying to say.
Like,
I wanted to feel.
He feels bad enough for himself.
Okay.
Well, that, and if you consider that this is the first thing he's done that hasn't been about him, it's about his son.
Right.
So, like, he's literally out of the picture now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Different dad now.
I don't remember if she had a name or if she was just the woman with the folder.
And the gray sweater.
Yeah, but she was an interesting character.
Yes.
She was necessary.
No, but she was an interesting character because she was breaking the rules all over the place.
Yeah. And she says
she broke the first one.
Yeah. And well, she says that she's not her job.
Right.
She knits and she does other things, and so and he's like,
it's just a job.
And she chose him, the main character, as her favorite for whatever reason. So,
I mean, unless she saw in him that one day, I don't know. I didn't see it. I wanted to see it, and I didn't see it. But did you have a favorite amongst the three?
The three stories, we gotta talk about the third one first.
We gotta rate this one, and then we gotta talk about the third one.
Yeah, where are you going?
I think it's a 4, but maybe like a little bit over a 4.
Okay. For all that, you gave it a 4?
Yeah, I was expecting a 3 out of that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with it. Because
it's like when you read
story. It wasn't that good a story.
When you read the reviews, it's like, oh, this must suck, and you give it a 9. It's like, well.
I mean, like, I usually rate books in regards to how interested I am in the story and how quickly I want to read it.
Okay.
And how much I care about it. And just because I didn't like the character, I don't know. I know he was meant not to be a likable person, but I think a 4 is fine. I say 4. You say 3?
I mean, now you make me feel bad because I gave it a less of a rating than you did, and you're the one like I didn't like it that much. I didn't like the character, but no, I'm sticking with 3 because I didn't enjoy it as much as I did Bloody Christmas, and as much as I did enjoy the story, I did enjoy the writing. I think there was a couple points where I was confused about what was happening just because of the scene jump.
Right.
But and it's still definitely worth a read. I'm not saying it's bad.
I mean, 3 is not bad. 3 is you like.
It means you like
Yeah.
the book, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. People like to talk crap about 3s, but like 2s it was okay. But yeah, I didn't. It was definitely a different story than I had expected.
I think I know the answer, but let me ask the question: would you read more books by this author?
Yes,
I know Desirai's answer, John.
What was the author's name?
Oh, Fredrik Backman.
Oh yeah, I actually had assumed
that guy. No.
Yeah. Well, because we were jumping from one to the other, I didn't know who was whose. The writing style is interesting enough for me. I assumed we were going to end up reading a Fredrik Backman book anyway, so I knew it was coming. So I was like,
yeah.
Didn't realize I had a choice.
I was going to add one to the January lineup, but you've already read like 2 of them.
Who, me or him?
You, Tom.
Oh, that's right.
Not me.
I could reread a book.
Okay, maybe I'll put it in there then. I heard A Man Called Ove was really good.
Yeah, there's a movie out about it as well.
I heard there's a couple of them, or maybe they're working.
One was done in the original. Was it? I forget what Scandinavian language it was. Then they did an English one. Swedish, maybe, I guess.
I think so. So A Child's Christmas in Wales.
Yes.
I felt like that had similar humor to Bloody Christmas a little bit. Like the style.
You think it has anything to do with location?
Yeah.
Because, I would have expected that.
I'm just talking about, like, the fire. There was a fire. Yes. And then they were, like, throwing snowballs at cats.
Yes. Come on, say the quote.
I don't know what the quote was.
And then when they had the fire, and I forget what the exact quote was, but he said something along that, and that was better than all the cats in Wales lined up in a row on the road. I said, oh my God, that's great.
So I would definitely say location has something to do with the humor of it. But I was just kind of amazed by the difference I experienced between hearing the author read it and like all of a sudden hearing the author read it, I was like, whoa, this is like really poetic. It just it seemed a lot more lyrical and poetic than when I had read it. So.
Plus, when he recites the list of gifts they got, he slides it in and he's like, wait, did I just hear? It's like blah 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 blah. Never a catapult. Blah 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 blah. So, I know, right?
Always waiting on it.
Yep.
I don't know if I understood the part where the fireman came over and the woman was like, "Do you want something to read?"
I think that was once things are said and done.
Yeah,
what shit else can we do?
Yeah. It's being hospitable,
Yeah. Sit down, take a seat, hang out for a few.
Have some tea.
Tea.
Mm-hmm.
Want something to read? I'll probably read it again since I have the other book. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering what those illustrations look like, what the difference in illustrations is.
Sure.
But
I think there's more humor just in that scene alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like the layers of humor and the idea of, would you like something to read? And him saying, I looked up and the lady said the most perfect thing. And it was that. And I'm like, what? Like, I had to stop and think about that for a few minutes. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to start asking people at work, have you read this? Have you read this? And they're all artsy people, so.
Yes, clearly.
Surprised no one read it to me as a child.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I'd never heard of it myself until my friend said, "Oh, you have to." It's like, okay, and so it's been a good Christmas tradition ever since. So
I have to say, I have to revisit it. I have to listen to it again just to get everything. Yeah, because I feel like there's more that I missed, even though it was a short story. Yeah, I feel like there was something I missed because I was listening to it. And
you should check out the illustrations too.
Going about, yeah, you're right. I should.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like pictures. It sounds like all three stories, even though they're short, are complex enough for either like a rereading or re-experiencing or something like that.
There's definitely enough information in each of these stories to make them worthwhile.
So
it's not a short story though. If you read it and don't remember it.
Mm.
I could not find the story without illustrations.
Okay.
So I was like, am I like, is there an unabridged version that I'm missing?
Unabridged version of a short
I think that's
story.
why
I think the audio version is like 20 minutes. So that's pretty short.
But I was just like,
A Child's Christmas in Wales?
Yeah.
I think it was literally 26 minutes.
It was.
Yeah.
But I was just worried. I was like, did Tom want me to read something with pictures?
Pictures are acceptable. I mean,
I've read graphic novels, I guess.
No, but I was given to understand that the best way to experience it first was hearing Dylan Thomas actually read it.
I agree with that. 100%.
Because he has this real old school delivery that's off-putting at first, but as you get used to it, it's like, okay, it kind of matches in with the story he's trying to tell. So
I like that sort of emotion. Like it's an emotional ambiance. Like him telling you the story, how it's meant to be told versus someone else just reading it and going,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did something wrong.
What did you do?
This wasn't recorded, was it?
Oh wait, no, hold on. No. Okay. I just freaked myself out. Never mind. We're good. We're
so
good.
all's well?
Okay.
We're good. All well.
Excuse me a minute, though. I have to go take something for some indigestion. I am on fire for some reason. And I don't know why.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sure.
What did we eat?
What did we eat?
I didn't eat much of anything. That's what it is, probably.
I mean, that's what it is. But
so I'll give him a chance to come back. But yeah, I would say I could revisit this story.
A
Child's Christmas Smells.
I've never actually read it. I've never actually read it. I've always listened to it. So, and I think when I listen to it, I pick up different things in it. So that's, makes it new to me every time. So.
Right. And that's always nice.
Makes me appreciate it more.
It was funny because John bought me bookshelves for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And I was talking to my son about like moving the books around or something. Oh, he has some on my bookshelf. So I was like, "Do you want any of these? Are you ever going to reread them?" And he was like, "Who the hell rereads stories? Who has the time to do that?" And I was like, he was like, "It takes too long to read a book. I'm not going to reread it." And I was like, I felt that way too. But as of last year, I reread a couple of stories and I enjoyed it. And I was like, it's like rewatching a movie that you like.
Yeah, it's okay. You can do that.
I'm also fearing the idea of reading something and then later on in life going, I don't remember anything about that.
But so that's like when you reread it and experience it for entirely for new.
Experience.
Hey,
I don't remember any of that. Yeah, we're about to
Yeah,
start.
but then you remember, like, by page 200, oh yeah, I've read this book before.
Yeah, right. And this is very familiar. There was something that I noticed while reading A Bloody Christmas. There is specifically a paragraph that I read it, and I was like, "Wait, I've read this somewhere else before." And for the life of me, I can't figure out why or how. But it's matter of fact. It was pretty far back.
Did you highlight it?
No.
Oh, well, that
I'm
was
not smart. I'm not
Of course
smart.
not. You have to increase the challenge by not highlighting it.
Oh, I think it was where Brian was telling him about how him and his wife were trying to one-up each other, and they invited all these people that were people they disliked.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Huh?
Like he was like the people have only been for 68 minutes, and I'm already going insane. That type of I don't know how or why or where I could have read that before, but I read that and I'm like it just ding.
Deja vu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
you could
weird.
Always try Googling it, see if that's like a nod to something else or something.
Right.
Could be.
Someone's plagiarized a script I read recently, and I'm like, I just found a hole that I shouldn't have.
So what do you give A Child's Christmas in Wales?
For now, it's at a 3 because
Okay.
I still enjoyed it, and it had a decent story. And excuse me. I still feel like I missed enough to have to reread it, and me rating it doesn't give a fair rating at
Did
this
you
point in time.
like read it kind of choppily?
I had to turn it off and on multiple times, and listening to it on YouTube was not a very good idea.
Because it was like old recording and it was crackly.
I put it on the car and I had to turn it up, but because it was crackly and popping, like I was worried my speakers would be damaged.
Yeah,
so I put it on my phone and put it in my ears while I was cooking. So that was another thing. I was busy.
I hadn't sought out the recording. I just happened to stumble upon it in someone's review because they had said, if you haven't listened to him tell this story, then you definitely
need to. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Even that old timey recording as ambiance was perfect.
Right.
Did you send the link too?
No, okay. He already had it.
Oh, you've already seen the YouTube link?
No, he has.
I have the recording.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a book. Was here A Child's Christmas in Wales and five poems is what I have.
Oh, okay.
He's Dylan Thomas is also Do Not Go Gently Into That Good Night. He reads that, and that's very powerful when he reads it. So that's on that audiobook. So
I'm curious.
I was going to give it a 3 when I read it, but then I listened to the audio, and so I bumped it up to a 4.
Okay. I gave it a 5 because there are some memorable quotes, and like I said, it's ambiance. It's the way he delivers things, and like John said, he has the authorial advantage in the sense that he gives a reading and it's authoritative, but it gives you insights that you would not have had on your own.
Right.
In the sense that, like, if reading David Sedaris is much different from listening to David Sedaris, because David Sedaris is like, I would never have thought of that way of saying that. But
right.
So yeah, and same thing here.
I'm really getting perturbed with all these people. That's not reading.
Oh God.
I'm getting. You know what? Don't
get into it.
It isn't, but it is. I mean, it's like I understand that when you read, your eyes make multiple scans of the text, so you're actually getting multiple views of the same text as you go through the book. Whereas the audio, it's like boom, one and done. So
I guess
it's more linear.
I just feel like there's more of an experience involved in allowing the author to actually read their work to you.
Yeah, the magic of being told a story. It's like, that's huge. I mean, oh, it's not reading. No, but it's something else, and it's also really, really good.
No, I love it when authors read their own books. And I understand that there's sometimes reasons why they wouldn't want to, but the ones that I have heard.
Well, but then again, I did read and listen to A Christmas Carol again this year, and I heard Jim Dale's version, which was very good. So, but they have Tim Curry also did one, Patrick Stewart did. It's like whichever narrator you want. But in terms of authors not reading their own books but having great narrators, you need look no further than the Outlander series with Davina Porter. So,
goosebumps.
Yeah.
She is spectacular.
Yes. Speaking of which, I'm just over halfway.
Is that book 4?
No, is it? No, that's 5.
You're in 5?
Yeah, that's for this season. Yeah.
All right.
We need to read book 4.
Yes.
And we need to finish 3.
No, we finished 3.
What?
We finished 3. 3 was Voyager. We finished 3.
Oh yeah, we did finish 3. Okay.
So, this is normally the part where I would tell you what book we're going to read next, but with the holidays, I forgot to put up the poll.
I was going to ask. It's like, I don't remember being poll. Okay.
So I'm still kind of like simmering in which 3 books I want to pick because I'm trying.
Or just pick one and say, here you go. Let's do it.
I could do that, but I want to make sure that I really, really want to read it. I want to kick January off super excited.
Hindsight.
So I will do that in a hot second. I'll make sure to pick the book, and then I'll let everybody know. I'll probably post it on Twitter and in the Goodreads chat. But does anyone have any final thoughts? I don't think I would have thought to do a bunch of short stories, but I'm glad that I got to experience 3 different authors, all with the Christmas spirit and the Christmas theme around it.
Yep.
It was good. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's less stressful, I think, to read 3 different short stories, which themselves may just equal a novel, but not quite. But especially over the holidays. So
I think it was a great choice considering how broken up our time has been.
Yep.
Going through the holidays. So, bravo. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for reading them.
Okay. So, I don't have anything else to add. But again, like I said, I will post the information about the next book on Twitter and in the Goodreads chat for anybody that joined us, even if you popped in for a second. Thank you. Hope you'll check out some of these short stories if you haven't already. And I hope everyone has a wonderful New Year.
All year.
See you in 2020.
Yes, 2020. Woo. All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Bye, guys.